Hi, Becca.
Hi there.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I see we have Kathy on. Oh
We
my gosh.
do. VIP.
I know, ain't it? This is cool. I finally get the caption for y'all.
Love it.
I hope I don't disappoint you.
You won't. You're gonna do amazing. Hello, thanks for joining us. Becca, I realized I accidentally scheduled the January meetings in my personal Zoom account instead of the webinar account.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. It's fine because they're not webinars, right?
Yeah, if it's a
Okay.
meeting, it can be under yours or the webinars. That's fine.
Okay. Cool. Great. We'll just give folks time to filter in. We'll probably get started around 5:05, depending on how many people we have present at that time. Posting the housekeeping stuff, that would be great. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We're just going to give everyone else a chance to get settled in. We'll probably start in around 5 minutes, depending on how many people we have with us. Jennifer is going to be posting some housekeeping items in the chat. And we're gonna have a more relaxed night tonight because we're just gonna have some time to get to know one another and talk a little bit about our vision for the Going Home Coalition moving forward and answer any questions. And then I'll bring some surveys to y'all so that you can give me some feedback about what you'd like to hear in this coming year. Also, please let me know if you cannot hear me or if I get glitchy. My internet has been a little bit weird today. Another few minutes to filter in. We're going to have a smaller group today, not very many people registered, so we don't have very many people to wait on actually, which is means we can get right into things soon. Just waiting another couple of minutes. Welcome to folks that are just joining us. We are waiting for the rest of our group to filter in and we'll get started in about 2 minutes. Jennifer is going to post some housekeeping items in the chat, some successful meeting strategies. And just a heads up that the meeting is getting recorded tonight so that we can post it on our YouTube page for folks who aren't able to join either of the meetings in person or as they're happening. You'll be able to get caught up with what we're up to. Sure. Sorry for I think I've been in a lot of meetings today, so I'm probably not speaking loud enough. How does that sound? Great. Thanks for the feedback. All right, it's 5:05. I think we can go ahead and get started. I think we have a few more people joining us, but like I mentioned before, tonight is going to be a smaller meeting. I think lots of folks are gearing up for the holidays and likely don't have a lot of extra time in their schedules. So we'll just jump right into things. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Jennifer has dropped some housekeeping items in the chat. Just a heads up that this meeting is getting recorded, and then we ask that folks keep themselves muted while I'm sharing. Um, just give me 1 second. Have a smaller presentation today and likely a shorter meeting. Welcome to our November Going Home Coalition meeting. Today is November 24th. This meeting is being recorded and will be available on the Going Home Coalition YouTube page in about a week. Please keep yourself muted while our speaker is presenting. That's me. And the recorded video with notes, links to video examples, links to handouts will be emailed within 2 weeks of the meeting. We don't have any video examples or links to handouts today, but we do have some surveys that I will be sharing with you all in just a few minutes. So, what will we be up to today? Just a very short agenda. We'll get to know me a little bit more. My name is Rio Goodwin Perez. I am the new acting director of the Going Home Coalition and Rev Up Illinois. I use they, them pronouns. We will talk a little bit about our vision for the Going Home Coalition in the future. We will have a small question and answer session. So, as you all are listening to me speak, please let me know. Please feel free to drop in the chat or raise your hands if you have any questions. I would love to answer them. That's what I'm here for. And if you don't feel confident enough to drop your question in the chat, you can either email me, or if you want to, you might be able to send me a direct message here. So feel free to do that if you don't want everyone to see your question. And then we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up in 2026. We already have some exciting meetings on the agenda. So let's get right into it. Like I mentioned before, I am Rio Goodwin Perez. I am the new director of the Going Home Coalition here at the ARC of Illinois. I use they, them pronouns. If you are having some trouble with they, them pronouns, I understand. Feel free to use he, him pronouns for me. Please no she, her. I will give you guys a little bit of background to myself, and I want to tell you that my dog's name is Selma, and we call her Salami. I thought you guys might want to know. Everyone's been a big fan of this photo of her. I am an artist, an educator, and organizer dedicated to equity and inclusion. I previously was working with the Arts of Life, which is an art studio for adults who are professional artists who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. And my position within the Arts of Life was as a home and community programs facilitator. So within my tenure at the Arts of Life, they introduced a program called the Home and Community Programs, kind of mirroring the push towards community-based services. And the goal of the Home and Community Programs was to provide adult artists with professional artistic practices the space to be integrated in the professional art world as a whole. So my work was to lead classes, to help individual artists develop their own personal skills as artists, and also to help lead the self-advocacy program at Arts of Life. It was truly an incredible experience, and as I was working with Arts of Life, I realized that I really wanted to scale up my advocacy, because my favorite part of my job was leading our self-advocacy group. I really learned so much from the advocates, and I realized that this was the work that I wanted to be doing in the future. So I feel so blessed to be given the opportunity to continue my work as an organizer here at the ARC of Illinois. I am experienced in social justice education, community organizing, and mutual aid work. I actually grew up in Tennessee, and as I was living in Tennessee, I worked directly with a workers' rights organization called Dignidad Obrera. And Workers' Dignity is a workers' rights organization that primarily helps workers in the Nashville metro area receive the payments that they've often been denied. So we work a lot with immigrants who are used to not being taken seriously in their field and help them get the money that they deserve for the hard work that they've completed. It was a really great experience working with Workers' Dignity, and I feel really um, honored that I had the opportunity to work with so many incredible individuals in Tennessee, and I am really looking forward to bringing my experience in organizing to this role. I also have experience creating social studies curriculums that were used in private elementary schools throughout the Metro Nashville area. And my work as a curriculum developer was primarily focusing on hidden and kind of obfuscated stories. So I focused a lot on stories of marginalized people, stories from the global South, and it was a lot of fun for me because a lot of my background is in education, and so it was a real treat to be able to kind of build the education from the ground up and get to write about what I was really passionate about. I also am a visual artist. I work a lot in themes of history, colonization, and diaspora. I am Puerto Rican, and I consider myself an amateur historian, an amateur archivist, and I study my own family's dispossession from the island of PR. And I also have lived experience as a person with a disability. I have connective tissue disorder, I have autism, and I have fibromyalgia. And my experience as a disabled person does give me a unique perspective to the world. And I really just look forward to continuing my work with other disabled people. Sorry, I can't get okay. So I wanted to talk a bit about my vision for the Going Home Coalition. Jennifer Sands and I, who I am really blessed to be working with, have been talking a lot about what we want the Going Home Coalition to look like in this next year and in the years to come. And we really think that we have an amazing infrastructure to build upon, and we really hope to expand that. So we really are aiming to connect with local advocates, local advocacy organizations, providers, and individuals who are passionate about systems change to really expand the work that we're doing because this is already such an amazing core group, and we really want to see the incredible work that the Going Home Coalition has been doing for about a decade now continue to grow and reach new people. As someone who comes from a marginalized community, I really care about engaging groups of people who are often overlooked. So a lot of our work will be asking the question of who are we not seeing and who do we need to hear from. We also are really going to focus this year on locating and developing prospective activists who are passionate about their community and have a desire to create systems change. So, as many of us know, we can't have successful campaigns or even successful organizations themselves without increasing the amount of people that we're working with and also giving a voice to individuals who may want to take on leadership roles. So, as we're stepping into this next year, we're really going to be honing in on finding individuals who are already making an impact in their community and who are interested in partnering with us and having their voices amplified and connecting with us in our work, and then being given opportunity to participate in meetings or educational opportunities through the Going Home Coalition itself. Some ways that we're going to make our vision go about are listed here on this screen. So, some things that we're really, really excited about are moving regionally throughout the state and connecting with individuals and organizations in each of the regions of the state that we haven't been connected to in the past and who are frequently overlooked. So, I do live in the Chicago area, and I understand that Chicago is its own country in itself. It's its own state in itself. And so the work that Jennifer and I have cut out for us is seeing outside of the major metro areas and seeing regions that are typically overlooked throughout discussions of disability within the state of Illinois. We're also really excited about implementing town halls to decide on key campaigns as a community. So, as someone who is in a leadership role within this organization, I see it as my duty within my role to be listening to you all. So, my goal, starting in January of this next year, is to start compiling information from you all. What are you guys interested in? What do you want to learn more about? What issues are you facing? What campaigns are you interested in promoting? Um, we are going to be implementing some surveys that will help us collect not only information about demographics and scheduling, but also for you to be able to answer the question of what would you like to hear from us? What would you like to learn more about? We really are hoping to settle on some specific campaigns towards March of this year, and those campaigns can look a lot of different ways, and the way that the campaigns look will be based off of the feedback that we receive from you all who are here and folks who aren't able to make it to either of these meetings. So, in our town halls, the setup will be just as they usually are, to hear from audience members so that they can tell us a little bit about what they want us to focus on, and then we will condense all of that information and bring to you the condensed information. After that, we can all, as a group, decide what we want to focus on for the year. As someone who comes from the organizing world, I love to see a concrete campaign with an achievable goal, whether that is getting a piece of legislation passed or simply raising awareness about a specific issue. I really am an action-oriented person, and I want to bring that into the Going Home Coalition so that we have an achievable goal and a way to measure our success and be proud of ourselves for the amount of impact that we make within the state. As I mentioned before, I'm really excited about the development of local advocates. I told you all that I really, really loved working with self-advocates in my previous position, and I aim to continue that work. And part of that work will be locating advocates in each region and giving them the opportunity to shine. So we're hoping to um, provide some information to them and mentorship to them, and then also giving them opportunities to speak out. As you know, some of our self-advocates go on to speak at committee hearings and in press conferences and things like that. And so we're really excited about acting as a platform and a pedestal for self-advocates to stand upon so that they can be seen and their voices can be heard. We are also, I personally am, as an educator and a student of history, I care a lot about looking at systems of power and having and developing a concrete analysis. So, I implement class analysis and privilege analysis in all of my work, whether that's my artistic work or, the work that I do in my day job. And I'm really looking forward to being able to provide an analysis of myself as a person in a leadership position, but also to be able to instruct other people on how to see where you stand within systems of power. Because as we all know, we have to use our privilege to benefit those who do not have privilege. And the first step to doing that is understanding what power do we have that other people do not have, and how can we use that to achieve our goals as an organization. I also really care about study, and so something that I do regularly already is study successful campaigns that may be in the present or maybe in the past, and we will be implementing research and study of historical and contemporary campaigns as part of our work here so that we're able to have successful campaigns throughout the year. Another important part of study is self-criticism. So something that I care about a lot is looking at where I was successful and where we weren't successful. And part of the way that we can plan for the future is by being ready to take a look at ourselves and look at the data that we collect and see, are the things that we're doing successful, or do we need to change how we're conducting ourselves? We won't be able to be successful in the future unless we're able to kind of look at the past and see what has been done well about the way that we're leading campaigns or education sessions, and what hasn't been done well, and where is there space to grow. And a huge part of us being able to critique ourselves is hearing from you all. So that's something that I really want to underscore, is that my phone number is on the website, and I also will be providing you all with my email at the end of this session. And I really want to hear from you all. If you come to a meeting and you say, and you have some strong feedback, you think that it's not going well, you think that I have space to grow personally, or that the Going Home Coalition has space to grow, please, please let me know. I do not take criticism. I take criticism well, sorry. As an artist, I'm trained in taking criticism, and so I really, really want to hear from you all. What are we doing well, and what are we not doing well? And additionally, we really want to think about the future. So, something that I implement in my practice is asking the question, what will happen after I leave? As much as I want to stay with the arc forever, it may not go that way. And so when I'm leaving, I want to create an infrastructure that the next person can step fluidly into, so that there isn't kind of this disjointed movement of leadership or just staff in general, so that for you all who may not be hired by the ARC, you will still be able to participate in the Going Home Coalition the same way, and you won't have to be afraid of the coalition losing its legitimacy or structure itself. Any comments or anything before I move forward? I don't have a lot more for us to share. All right, let's move forward. Great. So I want to take some time for you all to take a look at these surveys that we have prepared. The first survey that I am pulling up on the screen now is a survey regarding view participation and scheduling and issues. So you'll see some questions about where in the state you are, your name and your contact information, the languages that you speak, your access needs. And you will get the chance also to give us some feedback about what issues you might want to see addressed, what education you would like to see us implementing. We have some exciting things coming up in the future, and we want to plan things that are exciting to you all as well. So I'm gonna set a timer for about 2 minutes, and that may not be enough time for you to finish the survey, and that's totally fine. But I do want to give you a chance to scan the QR code if you have a smartphone or to follow this link. Jennifer has posted the link in the chat, and you should be able to follow it. The first survey is, I believe, only 11 questions. Um, it may be shorter than that, so it won't take super long. But I do want you guys to just take a minute to take a look at it, even if you don't fill it out right now. So I'm gonna actually just go off camera for about 2 minutes, and then we'll come back with another survey. Just give you one more minute to take a look at that survey or finish filling things out, and then we will move forward to our hosting interest survey. All right. Okay, one more survey for you all. And this survey is our hosting interest survey. So, as you all who have been attending our meetings have seen, we generally have a self-advocate, excuse me, join our session and lead the session for us. And the hosting opportunity is a chance for folks who are self-advocates to become more confident in public speaking, for them to be involved in the creation of our meetings themselves, to see them um, get planned, to see the backside of what it looks like to create a meeting or a webinar, and to meet our presenters one-on-one, and also to get paid. So this is an opportunity for folks who are into advocacy, into organizing, to get a chance to get paid for it. And as many of you all are aware, advocacy work is not always compensated. So this is a really great opportunity for folks to have their work recognized, and to get involved with us. So we are aiming to build out our roster of folks that we work with, and we want to get to know more people. So if you are in this meeting and you think, I'm a self advocate, I have experience, um, I have lived experience with IDD, I may have lived experience in an institutional setting. We really want to work with you. We want to uplift your voice. We want to get to know you as a person, and we want to give you the opportunity to speak up and speak out. So I'm going to give you all just a few minutes to get the link to this meeting. This survey as well. If you are a family member or a provider who's here with us tonight and you think you might know someone who would be a great fit, then go ahead and save this survey link and go ahead and send it to them. If the survey itself is too inaccessible for someone who might have um, low vision or who might need to use a screen reader, please just send me an email, drop an emoji or something, and we will make sure that you have access to the information and we can collect the information from you directly via phone call or Zoom meeting or email, whatever is the most accessible to you. So I'm going to give you all just another 2 minutes to fill this out and collect this link, and then we will move forward with our Q&A and our upcoming meetings, and then it looks like we'll be finished a little bit early tonight, so we can all go rest. So I'm going to go off screen for another 2 minutes and then come back on. About 30 minutes, sorry, 30 seconds left. Okay, awesome. So if you did not have enough time to fill the surveys out and you need the links one more time, they are in the chat. Jennifer was very kind and she dropped those in there for us. And if you receive the Going Home Coalition newsletter, I'm also going to be sending these out several more times. So you will have several more opportunities to fill them out. And I would love to hear from everyone who's here. So if you're someone who thinks that I may not value your feedback, please know that I do. Whether or not you are someone with a disability, if you know someone with a disability, if you are a provider, if you're part of our amazing and extensive network, please fill out the survey. We want to hear from you. Okay, so let's move forward and talk a little bit about what's coming up for us in the new year. So, Jennifer and I are going to be hunkering down during the month of December. We have a lot of really exciting things to plan, and we're really excited about bringing some new opportunities to you all. And we need the month of December to do that. So, our next meetings will actually be in the new year. We'll have no Rev Up or Going Home Coalition meetings for the remainder of the year. And that will give Jennifer and I the chance to really prepare ourselves for the coming year. As you all know, midterm elections are happening, and we have a lot going on politically. And so we want to be as prepared as possible. Um, so the next time that we will have a meeting for Going Home Coalition is going to be on January 21st at 6 p.m. We're trying out a new time, and we are only going to have one Going Home Coalition meeting a month, and we will similarly only have one Rev Up Illinois meeting a month. Just like with these meetings where we're having two, each of the meetings will be put on YouTube. So if you do miss it, you'll be able to see it. And we will still be giving out the meeting notes. So you'll be able to have access to all of the important information that gets shared in the chat and everything else like that. So our first meeting, January 21st at 6 p.m., will be a town hall. Like I mentioned before, we're going to be having some town halls right at the beginning of the year just to gauge what you guys want to talk about, what issues are the most pressing in your community. And we really want as many people as possible to attend those. So if you are someone who works for a larger org, or if you know other self-advocates who may want to be involved in Going Home Coalition, this is the meeting to attend. It will be our kickoff to the year. We'll hear from you all, and then moving forward, we will use the information we collect during this town hall to inform the rest of our year. And we just decided today that our Going Home Coalition meeting for February 18th at 6 p.m. is going to be an information session about the IDD System Redesign Coalition. The IDD System Redesign Coalition is a group of organizations spearheaded by the Institute on Disability and Human Development at at the University of Chicago, um, along with the ARC of Illinois, IARF, the Institute on Public Policy for People with Disabilities, and the Center for Developmental Disability Advocacy and Community Supports. This coalition was given a Coleman grant and was has kind of set out to hear from everyone in our community statewide to see what aspects of the IDD system are currently working, what isn't working, how can things change, and what would be some suggestions to implement change throughout the state. So we are going to be joined by Samantha Alloway, the director of the ARC of Illinois, executive director of the ARC of Illinois, who will be sharing some more information about the IDD System Redesign Coalition and the listening sessions that they're having. The listening sessions present an opportunity for people throughout each region in Illinois to share feedback about their experiences with the IDD system and how they would like for things to change. So I'm really excited about this opportunity and about the IDD System Redesign Coalition in general. And it's going to be great to have Samantha come and speak to us about the work that they're doing and how we, in the going home and as a larger network, can get involved in this push to redesign the system for it to suit us better. So here are some QR codes and links. As I mentioned before, we are going to be dropping all of the registration links and meeting notes in an email to you all within the next week. So if you don't have time to scan these right now, that is totally fine. You will get them in the future. And then we have some meetings planned for Rev Up Illinois. So our first Rev Up Illinois meeting will similarly be a town hall, and that is going to be on January 7th at 6 p.m. We'll start off the new year with a Rev Up Illinois meeting, and you'll have the same opportunity to tell us what you want to learn about, what issues are affecting you, how can we involve you in the election process? How can you register to vote, etc. And then we still have not settled on our Rev Up Illinois February topic, but we will know by the end of December, and you all will hear from us then about the topic itself. And in the meantime, you can just go ahead and register, or if you want to wait until we let you know what the topic will be, go ahead and do that, and you will be able to register you'll get a link in the December and January newsletters. So you'll have plenty of chances to sign up. So now I want to just go into some Q&A. My email address is right here, so if you want to write that down, go ahead. If you have any questions for me, and Jennifer just posted my email address and my phone with the proper extension in the chat. So thank you, Jennifer, for doing that. Do any of you all have any questions for me? Any comments, suggestions? If not, I totally understand. I know I just spoke to you for about 40 minutes, so that's a lot to take in. I would love to hear from anyone, everyone. And if we're feeling too shy, that's also okay. Jennifer, do you have anything you want to add about this next year?
I would just say how excited I am. I have really enjoyed planning with you and getting ready for the things that we have coming up, and really excited to share more, hear what everybody has to say at the town halls. And that's really about it at this moment.
I'm also very excited about next year. It's gonna be fun. Doesn't look like we have any questions in the chat. I want to give you guys maybe another minute. And if you don't have anything to share, you have my email address, you have my phone number. My phone is always on. You can just give me a call. Oh, Alan, yes. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
you are.
Okay, welcome aboard. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Ellen.
I'm intrigued to hear what you're saying, and Jennifer knows where I come from. I think one of the biggest challenges you face, even with town hall meetings and getting people to tell you what's working, and I'm sorry I have to be so blunt, they have no context. People in this state are clueless about best practice, about research, you talked about history. Most people in this state don't know we have 16 states and DC where nobody lives in a state of. That Illinois, Texas, North Carolina, and New Jersey have 48% of all the people living in state ops. How come? What is the problem? Solving the waiting list problem or making it shorter isn't going to do anything about that at all. We have a community infrastructure problem. We have staffing issues. We have training issues. This state is still operating and opening up new 8-person group homes. Most states are closing all their group homes, and if they're opening anything, they're for 3 people. Okay, we have the lowest employment numbers among people with developmental disabilities in 49 states. 2.9% of people on the waiver versus 84% in Washington state. Do they have a different population? No. They have leadership and commitment, and they put their money on the table. So I'm just concerned that all you're going to hear is, well, we need more of this, we need more of that, the rates have to go up, we need more of this. And those are what Alan calls, and Jennifer's heard this a lot, Band-Aids on a broken system. We need a restructured system, not just fixing what has been a waiver that was written in 1989, one of the last states to ever write a waiver, authorized in 81. Okay. And there is so much that we don't do here that when you ask people, what do you want? Well, I just need another group home in the community, or we need a bigger day program, or we need a this, or we need a that, as opposed to people can live in their own home with supports, regardless of complexity. Employment with customized employment, as Jennifer knows well, will work for anybody, zero reject if done well. So there is a gap. We talk about knowledge is power. My new phrase is the opposite of that. Ignorance is the enemy. And there is across the system, no offense, whether we're talking providers, professionals, families, and self-advocates, ignorance about what is going on in the rest of the country, even in our neighboring states. They're not perfect, but Missouri is way ahead of us. Wisconsin is way ahead of us. Kentucky is. Indiana has some flaws, but some good things. Arkansas may be behind us. So even if we look at our neighbors, let alone the others, Michigan, nobody lives in an institution. Nobody lives in a private ICF. How come? Have they got a different population? No. They had leadership and commitment that said, we're not going to keep doing that. We're changing the system design, and not by tinkering, but by rebuilding from the bottom up. So I'll hush, but I think there is so much work to do, because if you just ask people, what do you need or what do you want? They're going to operate within sort of a vacuum of what they know. And it's not that they're bad, but we need so much information to be given to people, whether that's in your town hall meetings or other situations, and including the legislators. They don't know. We tell them, oh, we're 44th. And as Jennifer's heard me say again, what does 44th mean? In a race, you came in 2 minutes later than the person who came in first. No, 44th means that in Illinois, the typical person lives in the community in a setting of 6.6. In the bulk of the states, they live in a setting of 3 or fewer. Legislator, how would you like to live with 5.6 people you don't know, or maybe 1 or 2 people, and you even had a choice who they were? Then we can maybe make stuff personal. So I just pass that on to you as a frame of reference of the work that has to be done in the Going Home Coalition if the real goal is to get people out of state ops, prevent people from having to go in there. And the other thing is, what can we learn from the other states? What have they done that worked? What didn't work? We'll do it different. But I've heard people say in Springfield, oh, we don't care what they did. We'll do it our own way. Okay, there are lessons to be learned from folks who have gone ahead of us, good, bad, and ugly. But nobody, I mean, I do, but people don't want to reach out. So I just share that with you, and you're smiling and nodding because from a community organizing perspective, it helps to know what's worked in other places. How do you deal with the unions? They've had to deal with them too. Severance pay, moving, all of that, as opposed to, oh no, we can't because they'll lose their jobs and they'll be unemployed, and it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, I'm done for now. Thank you for
Thank you so much for all of that. And I agree. I agree that there is truly an immense amount of work to be done. And that in order for that work to be done, like you said, there has to be a huge lift in regards to education and in regards to completely shifting the infrastructure that we're relying on. And that's where the ARC and the Going Home Coalition steps in, right? And that's why our focus in this coming year is addressing those issues and questions that you've brought up. Is as I've stepped in, I've seen that there is a long way for us to go as the advocacy branch of a statewide organization. There's a lot of things to be doing that we should be doing that we're not doing. And my personal opinion is that as much data collection is I'm sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. He is really wants to get fed. As much data we can get collected is important, but I completely agree. As someone who has worked directly with individuals who are living in SILAs and ICFs, there are individuals with disabilities that have no idea what the possibilities and the future could look like. And as we're, stepping into a new future, we have to be bringing folks that are the most directly impacted by this work in on the journey with us. And a lot of the work that is being done right now is in closed rooms and is not being done in conjunction with people who have lived experiences with disabilities. And so I think my goal as the director of the Going Home Coalition is to actually create a coalition and to see that we are all acting as puzzle pieces to the story and we're visioning for the future. And my vision for the future isn't, like you said, a band-aid on a broken system. My vision is that we are creating a new system, and I strongly believe that the work of the Going Home Coalition is to create a coalition specifically centered around the voices of self-advocates who are informed and who can tell us, based off of their lived experiences, this is what the system should actually look like in order for it to be the most inclusive. I really appreciate your points. I think that everything that you're saying, I agree completely with that. We exist in a lot of isolation, and I have a lot of room to grow. And I think that our coalition has a lot of room to grow. And I'm really looking forward to to working more with individuals like you and the folks that you work with, to make sure that folks are informed, that we are making informed decisions about what we actually want our state to look like, and that we're not limiting ourselves. And our goal this coming year is to create kind of um, an initial structure that can be built upon. And I really look forward to hearing your feedback in what has been successful in the past and what might be successful, what could be successful, but we haven't been daring enough to try it. So I hope that you continue coming to the meetings, Alan, and that we have chance to speak face to face so that you can continue to give me important feedback. I know Jennifer has spoken to me a lot about you, and she values your voice greatly. And so I'm
I
very thankful
appreciate
that
the
you're
feedback.
here.
And one of the things that you can look into before your town hall meeting,
Please.
and Samantha may have a little information on this, because I think they did do, Going Home Coalition did have a meeting with former Governor Quinn. There
Mm,
are lessons to be learned in what went wrong in the attempt to close institutions in this state, which have set us back 10 years, in my opinion, because they didn't build the infrastructure, they didn't train. People moved out with good intentions. Some people got sent back because providers couldn't manage it, and there were several deaths. All that did was reinforce the unions and some of the traditional parents. And as a parent, I get it. They said, see, it won't work in the community. My kid needs to be here. Now, we know that's not true, but if you mess it up, that's what happens. In this state, in my opinion, lost at least 10 years of progress because of the rigidity that set in between the unions, the legislators, and the old guard families saying that community stuff doesn't work for people with behavior problems or medical needs or complex this or that. Therefore, keep them open and keep the ICFs and the nursing homes open. So that's a key lesson. And there are people who can talk to you about that who are part of it. I mean, I was on the outside of it, but watched it. And it was tragic because you could see it was going to happen. And the people who
absolutely.
were working on it even made recommendations to the governor's office about money for this, and he couldn't get it from the legislature.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I think we're looking at what happens when you don't scale up infrastructure and when you don't build a bridge for folks to get into community. And the fact that we have 200 people, 200 plus people waiting to be transitioned into community and we can't even find choice housing for them is just kind of indicative of the state that we're in right now. And I agree strongly with what you're saying that the infrastructure wasn't built and it set us
Lots of work to do.
absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for that.
If I
Thank
may,
you.
Please.
Alan, thank you so much for speaking up. I was really excited to see your name pop up in the attendees, and I'm really looking forward to a time when you and Rio can get together and talk about some of these things. So many of the points that you brought up, we've been, not all of them, because we've only had a handful of weeks together, but we've already been talking about some of these issues, and there's that listening with people with lived experience and what they've got, but also like what you've ingrained into me. We don't have the vision in the state, and there are other states, and we're getting that information. So what we can share and let people know what's possible, and like what you did in Partners in Policymaking, show us videos, meetings, and so that we can see with our own eyes that it really works. So thank you for everything you have been doing through the nation, but for Illinois most recently. And I look forward to participating. And as we are getting more and more self-advocates involved, we're going to be getting partners, trained people involved as well. So we'll have a really good group of people out there educating folks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ellen. Do we have anyone else that would like to share something before we head out? Turns out we did not have a short meeting at all.
We have a couple of
That's good.
comments. Rebecca just said excited about the future of Going Home Coalition, and Amber Williams shared the Quinn meeting was interesting, which I wholeheartedly agree. It was
Definitely needs to
that
work.
was really amazing to hear and piece together with a lot of the history I had. So thanks for sharing those comments.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much. This has been a really productive meeting. I appreciate you letting me blab to you and hearing the feedback that you shared. I really look forward to this next year of work with one another to scaling up the reach of our work and the success of our work. And I hope to see you all in January. You'll be getting some links and meeting notes from me and registration links and everything. So just keep an eye out on your email inbox. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.